Did you ever wish that Vim had something like IntelliJ's Alt-J or VS Code's Control-D? You know, that select next occurrence magic? Well, turns out it kinda does. In this video, I'm gonna show you a vim-motion that has very similar powers. In combination with some other commands, it's the perfect tool for quick text replacements. And you don't even need any plugins or write some macros for this. Just some native Vim wizardry. Hi, my name is Marco. Let's get started. When you're using search in Vim using the slash, you usually navigate with the N and capital N motions. But what if you actually wanted to select the search matches instead of just jumping to them? That's where the GN motion comes in. GN actually selects the next search match. And yes, you can combine GN with operators like C for change or D for delete. Let's look at some practical use cases for GN. So maybe you're editing this blog post comparing some fuzzy finders for the command line. Now maybe you wanted to write fzf.vim instead of fzf. So you want to quickly rename all the occurrences of fzf. fzf is a really great tool, by the way. That's why I made a video about it. Maybe you want to check it out. I'll put a link in the description and here in the card. But let's get back to business. So we quickly wanted to replace all occurrences of fzf with fzf.vim. First, let's just search for fzf. Hit slash, fzf, hit enter, and now we're on the first match. Notice that I activated the HL search and ink search options, so that's why you see these highlights here. Now I'll type GN in normal mode. You see that I visually selected the first match. That's why you see it highlighted in a slightly different color now. I can change this selection by simply typing C now. So now I'm in insert mode, and I'll just type fzf.vim, hit escape, and I'm back in normal mode. Now let's change it up a little. We now just type cgn. What now happened was, we jumped to the next match, visually selected it, and applied the change command directly. So now we can just type in our change, fzf.vim. The coolest thing about the second way we did this right now with cgn is that if we wanted to change the next occurrence of fzf again, we now can simply use the repeat command. So now we just press the dot, and you see we jumped to the next occurrence, selected it visually, and changed it to fzf vim just with this one dot. And now we can hit this again till we're at the end of a file, or if we're finished with all the changes we want to make. So let's hit dot again, and boom! We just replaced multiple matches with almost no movement. Pretty cool. Let's undo all the things we just did and have a look at G capital N. G capital N acts almost the same way as GN. The difference is it selects the previous match. Little bonus tip for you here. We can undo all the changes we made since the last write to the file using E exclamation mark. So go into command mode, E exclamation mark, and we're back to where we started. Good thing for demonstrating G capital N is we're at the end of the file now, so I don't even have to jump down here. Also, fzf is still the search pattern, so we can just use G capital N right now. And now you see we have selected the first match going backwards in the file. Now that we've selected this match, we could use the change command again, but let's hit escape first and directly try the cg capital N command. So we're in insert mode already because the change command is applied now. Let's type fzf.vim again and hit escape. Also pretty easy, right? The problem with this approach is that our little trick with the repeat command doesn't work for this. Let me show you. If I now press dot, you see something strange happened. Let me do it again. So when we now repeat the command, we just append another .vim to fzf. That happens because we're ending up after our search match after finishing this command. So if we repeat it, we just jump backwards and add another .vim in our case. So our repeat command trick doesn't work for the G capital N command, unfortunately. But I want to show you one more thing. Let's reload the file again. Let's jump back to the top of the file. And now maybe we want to change fzy to something else. So let's jump ahead to fzy. Now with a cursor on top of fzy, we can simply press asterisk, and this uses the word under the cursor as our search pattern. This is especially cool if the word you want to search for is a little bit longer and harder to type than fzy. But let's just go with this because this is my example right here. Maybe you noticed the only downside to this is that we jump directly to the next match after the first word we were on when we pressed the asterisk. Let's just press capital N to jump back. So maybe fzy got renamed to fzz or something like that. Let's type cgn. fzz and hit escape again. So now we can just hammer away on the repeat command again. So dot to replace the next occurrence and dot to replace the last occurrence with this. If you want to know how to run any command on lines containing a specific pattern, click on the video popping out right now. Thanks for watching, see you around, and take care.